Accountex, it's day one. I'm here with Ketan Makwana from 77 Ventures or Cryptolix. What is it, Ketan?
So 77 Ventures is our venture partnering, venture capital kind of firm and stuff, but more specifically here at Accountex, we are promoting Cryptolytics. And Cryptolytics, for anyone that's out there interested, is basically the Netflix of crypto, blockchain, and NFTs. Okay. So as you would understand, there's a lot of information out there. It's quite fragmented. If you're an accountant and you're looking at taking on clients that have blockchain and crypto within their business, you need to understand about tax regulations, all these kind of things. What we've done is produced a platform which curates all the content to you: news, audio experiences, the academy, resources, and we're also adding a live stream channel into it just for a little bit of extra entertainment.
Well, I think you had us at Netflix for accountants, Ketan. And is this your first Accountex? Are you a veteran of these things?
I've been here as a visitor.
Okay.
I've spoken once or twice in previous shows. I've done a lot of work with people like Sage and Intuit in the past, so Caroline, portfolio director, invited me in to give a talk, and the rest is history, really.
How is it going for you today?
Oh, I love it. I tell you something. First of all, it's great to be back on live events. I think this whole pandemic and the shutdown of these kind of events is we lose the energy of things. The second thing is there's so much pent-up demand for people wanting to either connect or progress in particular ways. So for us, we're having a whale of a time here on the stand talking to people about how we're democratizing information and content curation. But at the same time, there is I feel a big need from the accounting world to really get a grip of and grasp of what's happening with crypto and these assets, especially from a tax and regulations perspective. And that kind of plays in well with what we want to offer. So.
Do you have an accounting background, Ketan?
No.
and I don't. I was a high school maths teacher. But you do get a sense when you speak to accountants, and I'm sure you speak to many, many of them, of this overload and overwhelm, and there's so much I need to know, and there's so much I need to do. And crypto and AI, they're just other things. There's too much. What would you say to them?
I think it's just...
Do you sympathise with that?
I empathise with it,
right.
Rather than sympathise.
Fair enough.
I think the culture of accountants and this industry is it's very much like law. It's got to it's down to the written rule. You've got to have a look at numbers that are not just specific. It's rules, regulations, how things particularly work. And I think what happens here is accountants generally get overwhelmed with the whole fact of I'm going to know this to the nth detail. And I think if you take an entrepreneur rather than an accountant, they're much more relaxed or casual about those kind of particular things. Having said that, I think it's also important. You see, people like accountants and lawyers are very meticulous about what they do.
Yeah.
It's about embracing it here. So we come in not to tell people to calm down and chill out, but actually say, look, if you are curious, if you do need to understand, what better than to have a platform that will give you the support you need when you need it. What's happening is these guys are now coming to us and saying, not only are we interested in the platform, but we want to give it to our clients. So all of a sudden, it's opening up. I think the industry is always going to be like that.
Yeah.
It's always going to have that kind of specific eye to detail kind of thing. But look, if they didn't do it, who's going to do it?
Yeah. And Cryptolytics.
Yeah.
Is this an international thing or just UK right now?
So we opened the virtual doors to our platform on the 16th of May.
Okay.
So next week. We're here promoting £1 access for 30 days, and then you can cancel your subscription.
And can anyone in the world access that?
100%.
Okay.
So we aren't restricted by international laws or regulations because we're not an exchange. We don't give financial advice. We aren't constituted into any form of training on how to build wallets and wealth. We are more about news, information, and education around the market, the platforms, what blockchain is, how it's going to be used.
And that's vital because people have got to stay informed. There's so many decisions you can get wrong, and people can lose a lot of money, Ketan, can't they?
And that means that we don't have any restrictions to be international.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would say is we are bringing in a series of tax and regulatory training into the program. I'm working with the FCA at the moment as well for here in the UK particularly. They did a crypto sprint only a couple of days ago, which is interesting, so I'm going to learn a little bit more about what they're doing in their in their regulation side. But as you can appreciate, every country has its own tax rule.
Yes.
So India's like a flat 30%, whereas the UK is capital gains tax. So what we've got to be mindful of is making sure that if we are doing jurisdiction-based training presentations and stuff like that on the platform, that we meet the country's regulations and stuff like that.
And 77 Ventures, you mentioned the venture capital that you've been. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So 77 was born during the pandemic. Michael and myself, my business partner, Michael's ex-entertainment. He brought Dirty Dancing to theatre and then sold
Everyone
out
knows
the rights.
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't dance. But we came together because we felt that the creative industries were very underrepresented in terms of financial support. So we built 77 with the premise to accelerate digital and technology in the creative industries. Off the back of 77 Ventures, we've now got 4 projects. So Cryptolytics is one, which is spinning off. We're building phygital arenas, which is bridging the physical and digital world, which is spinning off. We're now bringing 77 Capital in, which is our FCA licensed fund, and then 77 Ventures is going to become more of a venture partner, venture builder opportunity. So we're established entrepreneurs. I have experience in the market growing businesses, as does Michael. So we want to be able to put in as much support and resource that we can to help the creative industries get back up there and serve its future. Really.
And we're seeing more venture capital money coming into the accountants world and the fintech world, aren't we?
Correct.
So you're seeing something in there that's attractive for you as an investor?
Well, we have 2 funds that we're intending to introduce. We are looking at an equity fund, and we're also looking to go down the debt finance route, where we will work with people like the British Business Bank to build in growth accelerating funds. So this is where business of any type, any nature can come to us. They can get debt finance, but the finance will come with caveats like mentoring, training, investment strategies to really help that professional get the right return on investment on that capital. And debt finance, to be honest with you, right now it's a growing trend. More and more associations are looking at providing money on a debt basis rather than taking equity in companies, which is a good thing, I think.
Yeah. Final question, Ketan. What skills, attributes do you feel accountants are going to need over the next few years to stay relevant and competitive from what you see of the space?
Okay, so the first one I'd say is resilience. I think accountants are resilient, but they're also very robust. And what I mean by that is they have a very small turning circle to new things. I think, I suppose the next one alongside resilience is agility. They're going to be open-minded to what's coming next. It's not just a hearsay of what they read in the news. Digital currency and crypto and blockchain are not going anywhere, and they're only going to become more increased. And then from a business perspective, I think they've got to be more entrepreneurial. They're going to become a little bit more creative with the way in which they not only attract their clients in, but serve their clients. So fintech solutions, workshops, all sorts of different creativity that they can bring in that will allow them to serve their client in a more sort of agile way.
You've got to think more like a business owner.
Correct. And from that, I think maybe introducing a little bit more kind of partnerships, working with, they're the financial arm. They could have a fintech, which is more about payments. They could have another company that does things like media and information. All of a sudden, you become a conglomerate of value, and 10% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Yeah, you're a very passionate guy, Ketan. What excites you most about the next few years?
Uncertainty.
You like that, do you?
I love it.
You're an entrepreneur.
I love it.
That's where you operate best.
Exactly. For me, it's not knowing what the next 20 minutes is going to mean rather than the next 20 years. We are embracing, with Web3, with all of these kind of things, new worlds, new paradigms, new things. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, but it's also exhausting. So that's us.
You're the right guy in the right place. Ketan Makwana, thank you so much for your time today.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.